Go ahead. We are live.
When he had those three shirts, you know?
Alhamdulillah,
So you're a fan of Diddy?
wassalatu wassalam ashrafil anbiya'i
You know his
wa
points are fake,
mursalin
right?
amma ba'd.
Yeah. Most of them. Go ahead.
Wealth is something that has troubled the children of Adam from the very beginning of creation. Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated that the messenger of Allah, may Allah peace and blessing be upon him, said, the son of Adam, man, grows old, and also two desires grow old with him: love for wealth and wish for a long life. The question of how much wealth and property one owns, or how many of the luxuries and pleasures of the world one enjoys, have preoccupied the thoughts of each and every one of us at one point or another in our lives. Wealth has been the cause of war, the cause of suicide, the cause of divorces, the cause of corruption. Allah Azza warns the believers that Shaitan threatens you with poverty and bids you to conduct exceedingly. Allah promises you His forgiveness and bounties, and He cares for all, He knows all things. So we should always strive to maintain honesty and righteousness regarding of the corruption that surrounds us. We should never get into the temptations of this world nor the whispers of Shaitan. Believers must also remember that the creation, our beloved Prophet, may Allah peace and blessing be upon him, lived in extreme poverty and great deprivation. Yet he is the most beloved to Allah and will have the highest standing amongst the entire creation in the hereafter. The Quran separates the riches and luxuries of this world from the values which Allah approves of. It states that Allah grants wealth or poverty to whomever He wills, out of His mercy, and that it is not an indication of whether He is pleased or displeased with them. And that is not an indication of whether He is pleased or displeased with them. This is because often a person's wealth, position, and offspring can in fact be a trial and a test for them. Allah tests His servants with wealth and with poverty, and each will be rewarded or punished according to how they conduct themselves. On the Day of Judgment, a person will be asked how he acquired their wealth and how they spent it, and will be judged on whether or not they were grateful to Allah for it. The wealthier a person is, the more responsibility that the wealth carries. A person who is poor cannot be asked about how they acquired or spent their wealth if they did not possess any in the first place. Therefore, there is a less chance that they will be punished for being ungrateful for the blessing bestowed upon them by Allah. Abu Hurairah narrated, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, anyone whom Allah has given wealth, but he does not pay its zakah, then on the day of resurrection his wealth will be presented to him in the shape of a bald-headed poisonous snake with two poisonous fangs in its mouth, and it will circle itself around his neck and bite him and say, I am your wealth, I am your treasure. Allah warns the believers that certainly we shall test you with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives, and fruits. But give glad tidings to those who persevere. Those who say when a misfortune strikes them, surely to Allah we belong, and surely to Him we return. These are the ones on whom blessings from their Lord descend, and mercy, these are the ones who are rightly guided. A true believer shows gratitude and thankfulness for the countless blessings bestowed upon them by Allah, and displays patience and submission during the time of poverty and affliction. The most important thing for a believer to remember is that we were created for the purpose of worshiping Allah alone, and life is just a means of testing our obedience and faith in Him. Whether we are granted abundant riches or severe poverty, we must always strive to obey commands of Allah and to fulfill our duties towards Him. A believer's honor lies in Islam. The words of Allah in the Quran and the Sunnah should be our guides, not the desires of the society surrounding us. Not the desires of the society surrounding us, which places great value on wealth and materialism. We are travelers in this world, and we will soon move on. What we will take from this world will be our good deeds, nothing more, nothing less. There will be our wealth on the Day of Judgment, and they are what we will be judged on. Whose deeds are heavy on the scale will have succeeded and gained something that all the wealth of this world cannot buy, the pleasure of his Lord and eternal paradise. May Allah give me and everyone else, every one of us, the ability to practice